What's up guys, I'm Joey and this is Performance Outdoor. I love all things about the outdoors. My favorite thing is finding awesome quality gear that doesn't break the bank. And that's why today we're looking at two different backpacking packs from Teton, the Explorer 4000 and the Grand 5500. So let's get into it. Alright, so two packs from Teton that I've had for a little while now. The Explorer 4000 I've actually had since 2016. I've taken it out countless times, really like the pack, but recently I went on a trip on the Appalachian Trail. I just needed to bring a lot more gear. I had a lot of gear that I just wanted to test out. Also brought some camera equipment with me and just wanted to have a little extra space, so upgraded to the Grand 5500. So definitely putting both to the test so far, and I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a side-by-side review. So just like some of my other videos when I have compared two products side by side, I'm going to break this up into three different parts. So I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison, then I'm going to do an individual review on each separate pack. So if you want to fast forward to one specific pack, I'm going to put the timestamp below. So go ahead and check it out. But for now, I'm going to get into the side-by-side of both these packs. Alright, so the Teton Sports Explorer and the Grand 5500. We'll do a side-by-side and a couple of different specs here. So the Teton Sports Explorer 4000, its overall pack weight is 5 pounds, compared to the Grand 5500, which is 6 pounds with the poncho, 5.2 pounds without the poncho. I'm going to get into that in the individual review with the Grand 5500, but the poncho that comes with it is absolute garbage. Get rid of it and get something different, but I'm going to get into that in a whole bunch coming up here soon. The overall capacity of these two packs, the Teton 4000, so 4,000 cubic inch pack, 65 liters. The 5500 is 90 liters and 5,500 cubic inches. And when you look at it side by side, it's actually 38.5% larger storage capacity in the Grand 5500 compared to the 4000. And the 4000, one really cool thing with the 4000 is you've got a lot of different color options. You can get black, silver like this one here, blue, and hunter green. With the Grand 5500, this is the only option. It's black with some orange trim. Doesn't look bad, but you don't have any options. The cover for the Teton, it's got a built-in rain cover that opens up from the bottom and covers up the entire pack while you're wearing it. It's actually a really good built-in cover. And with the Grand 5500, it comes with this poncho system. That's totally lame. They actually advertise it as a poncho slash emergency bivy kind of tent thing. It's kind of a joke. I don't like it. I got rid of it and got something different, but I'll get into that here in a little bit as well. Both of these have a sleeping bag compartment that is optional. So it's got an internal zipper compartment that you can section it off so you have bottom access to your sleeping bag if you want. But you can also internally unzip that compartment and just have a larger main storage compartment for the overall pack. So both of them are exactly the same there. Now the Teton 4000 is limited as far as where you can access the actual pack itself. With the 4000 you can only access it from the top and from the bottom. This is the access to the sleeping bag compartment. With the Grand 5500 you can access it from the top, from the bottom. One of the sides unzips and allows you to access the main compartment, as well as there's zippers here in the back that allow you to access it. This zipper actually goes all the way across the top, so you can access the main pack here. And that's really nice. If you have a really tightly packed bag, you have multiple different access points where you're limited. With the 4000 you can only access it from the top and bottom. So if you know you have something internal out here on the sides and your pack is tight, is packed really tight, you know, forget it, you're not getting to it. Now for additional storage, a couple of the differences. With the 4000 you've got this little mesh pack right here where you can put a map, a compass, something small. You also have three different side pockets where you've got pockets here, here, and then a larger single one here with water bottle slots on both sides. The Grand 5500, you've got much larger pockets here for water bottles. I'll show these really close up when we get to the individual review. You also have a single pocket on this side, and this is actually a detachable backpack. So you can actually detach this from the top and the bottom and have this as a smaller little backpack, or if you just wanted to have a couple of things where it wasn't way down in the bottom of your pack, you can actually pack it up here. And it's kind of nice. I ended up using it quite a bit. Now both packs also have storage compartments in the cover themselves, accessible back here. I know this isn't a perfect view for you, but there's access here as well as underneath. There's another zipper here where you can access it here. So there's storage on both sides, top and bottom of the cover, and both of these packs are identical when it comes to storage in the top cover. Now the one additional thing that the Grand 5500 has that the 4000 doesn't have is a waist belt pocket. Now once this is tight against your body, it's pretty small. You can't get much in here. Really, I found all I would keep in here is like 2 Cliff Bars. That's about all I could get in. I couldn't even keep my cell phone or my GoPro or anything like that in there, so it's really just 2 Cliff Bars, but it's still pretty nice. All right, starting with the Teton Explorer 4000. I bought this about 5 years ago. It was actually fall of 2016. I was able to purchase it at the time for a little under 80 bucks. Looking at Amazon today, it's pricing out around 85 bucks. Weighs in at 5 pounds. That includes the rain cover, the built-in rain cover. I'll show that here in a minute. It's 4,000 cubic inches, 65 liters, comes in 4 colors, silver as shown here, black, hunter green, as well as blue. It also has a sleeping bag compartment that is optional. It's actually an internal liner that you can either have it closed, so you have an internal sleeping bag compartment down here, or you can unzip it so it's one large compartment all the way through. And it's limited as far as access. You can only access the internal pack either from the bottom if the sleeping bag container is unzipped, or from the top. Now it's got 3 external pockets, 2 on one side. Each one is about 7 inches deep, and then it's got another larger one on the other side that is 9 inches deep. Now it's got water bottle holders on both sides, but I will say one feature about these that's a negative is they are really tight. And if you're turning around a Nalgene, you can get it in, but you fight a little bit, and this is the pack not on me. When I'm wearing the pack, I have a really hard time getting a Nalgene bottle in. However, Smart water bottle, which you go out on the trail and it seems like everybody's carrying these, it fits in so perfectly. So if I'm carrying this pack, I'm probably carrying one of these. You can also have, there's a spot for an internal water bladder, so if that's your thing, it can hold a water bladder and the hose will feed out the top, so it's perfect. Now what you also have with the flap is you got 2 additional pockets. One, when you pull the flap up, there's actually a zippered pocket here, and an additional zipper pocket from the back. Now these are 2 independent from each other, so you can put something in the back pocket and you can't access it from the bottom, so it's nice to have something small in there. Now another feature that's really nice is you have the built-in rain cover. You access that from undoing a small little Velcro pouch at the bottom. It's hooked on a tether here, and it fits over the entire pack. And it's just as easy to fold up and put away as it is to take out. And the nice thing is the small pouch that's under here it's not big, but it's big enough that I can usually fit like an extra trash bag in there. So that's usually what I have, is the poncho itself, or not the poncho, but the rain cover itself, and then an extra trash bag. Now as far as getting the pack fitted for your height, it's actually really easy. There is a Velcro slider here that you undo that, you lift this up, and then you can actually move this up and down, and that is going to adjust the height of the straps themselves. I'm exactly 6 foot tall. I've always had it right here, so a notch above XL, and it has always worked perfectly for me. But if it's not the right fit for you, it actually just adjusts super easy, so you can play with it and you can figure out exactly what works for you. Right here you see this little patch that says for airflow. The back rest right here is built out a little bit, so when this is against your back, there's supposed to be some added airflow here. My experience is it's not perfect, to be honest. These are also built up a little bit, but they compress really easily, so when you tighten the waistband down, this is pretty much flat, and I'll admit, like, my lower back definitely gets hot and sweaty. So it says that there's good airflow here. There's really not, but the overall waist pack itself is really, really comfortable. The foam here, well, it's rigid on the outside. The inside is really soft. It's got this material that wicks away moisture really quickly. It's really, really thick foam as well. So this is a really comfortable waist pack itself. The shoulder straps also, nice thickness. They hold up really well. They're really comfortable. I think the longest day I've ever put in it is probably 15 miles, and I'm not exactly a light packer either. So this pack, I've gotten up to probably 36, 37 pounds of gear, and I've always been really comfortable even on a long day. Now, the top of the pack has a nice wide opening. Down here, I know it's hard to see, but there is a compartment for the actual water bladder, and you can run that. You can see my fingers from the outside in. You can run the hose to the water bladder out if that's your thing, and closes down real nice and tight. And then these straps here are adjustable as well, so you can really crank that down nice and tight. And it's got these two straps up here if you want to have your sleeping pad or blanket or something on top. You can cinch these down really tight too, or you can actually unsnap these and completely remove them. Now comes time for the big boy, the Grand 5500. This thing is huge. It's awesome. I love it. I'm not going to win any ultralight backpacking awards. I don't care. This thing is fantastic. I bought this in March for a trip just because I needed some extra space for all the gear that I was hauling. Absolutely no regrets. It's huge. So in March, I got this for about 145 bucks. It's really priced about the same today on Amazon as where I bought it. Only comes in one color, it's just the black and the orange highlighting around the zippers. It's a 6-pound pack with the poncho included. Gonna get to that. It's 5.2 pounds without the poncho, and without the poncho that comes with it is really the way it should be sold. The poncho is garbage. Sorry, Teton. I absolutely love all Teton products, but the poncho system that came with this, not a fan of. We'll get into that in a little bit. So 5.2 pounds without the poncho, 5,500 cubic inches, 90 liters. There is a sleeping bag compartment down at the bottom. You just unzip this, you can access a sleeping bag. There's actually an internal flap here that you can either zip or unzip. Unzipped makes one huge internal compartment. If you have this thing zipped and closed, it acts as a small storage compartment on the bottom that is cut off from the rest of the pack. Now it has 4 access points. The bottom, the top, one of these side pockets actually goes right into the main compartment, as well as through the front. And this is a huge feature for me, especially for such a large pack. It's awesome to be able to access all different parts of your pack from all different sides. If you have something that you know is buried right down at the bottom or off the side or right in the front or wherever, you can access it from a whole bunch of different spots. So that is a huge feature for me compared to the 4000, which is only a bottom and top access. In a lot of the roll top packs, you can only access them from the top. So this one is huge, but it's really nice because you can access your gear from all over. Now it comes with this little detachable backpack. You can actually unclip all of it here, and you can, they advertise it as like a little hiking backpack. Like, I guess if you make camp and you just want to go for a quick little hike, you can store a little bit of gear in here. I don't know if I'd ever use it for that, but I did find it really nice. I kept like all my GoPro accessories in here. It's nice to have just a little bit of extra storage on the outside of your pack, especially if you don't want to have to go digging. Now, as far as other pockets, it does have one pocket along the side here. It's not huge. In fact, it's actually pretty small, but it's nice. A couple small things you can fit in there, poop kit or something like that. And it does have a waist belt pocket. This is also not very big, especially when you have this tight around your waist. This actually gets, it kind of gets compressed a little bit. I would usually only carry like a couple of Cliff Bars in it and really nothing more. Now you can also hook up a water bladder, like an internal water bladder for this, and have it strung up through a hole in the back. But the side pockets for where you'd have your water bottles are huge. And on the 4000, it's kind of hard to get Nalgene in there, and I usually use like a smart water bottle. But with a full size like liter Nalgene, it's really easy to get that in there. Honestly, you could fit even more. So it's nice to not have to kind of like fight with that to get it back in every time you want to take a swig of water if you don't have a water bladder. Now I'm exactly 6 feet tall, so when I grabbed this pack, it was actually pretty much perfectly fitted for me already, so I didn't really have to adjust the height of the straps at all. Now it's a little bit easier to adjust the height of the straps on some of the other models like the 4000. This one is a little bit trickier. It actually has kind of a buckle down here that you can either tighten it down or let in a little bit of slack, and it'll raise and lower the shoulder straps, and that's how you would adjust that if you're a little bit taller or you want it to be sitting a little bit lower on you. Now as far as like airflow behind this actually gets a lot of really good airflow to your lower back. This is built out a lot further than the 4000. These pads are built out a little bit more as well, so when you're walking you can pretty much like even stick your hand back here. So nice, a lot of good airflow. The waist pads are really well built. It's really thick canvas, nice padding as well. And here you can see the waist pocket. Again, not huge, but it's nice to have something there. Now with the Teton 4000, it actually has a built-in rain cover underneath, which is really good, fits all of my needs. With the 5500, they gave us this horrible poncho. I mean, it's made of really good material, but it's a straight up poncho, and they advertise it as being like an emergency tent as well. But if you've ever hiked for a long time in the rain, wearing a poncho is, in my opinion, really uncomfortable, and it just sucks. But it's also really heavy too. I don't know, this thing just really disappointed me, so I got rid of this and actually bought my own separate rain cover for this pack. So I bought this Joy Walker XXL rain cover that is just awesome. I mean, it's absolutely huge. When I went out with this thing, I actually had my tent set up on the top, so it was actually underneath the top flap here, sticking out the sides a little bit, and this thing fit over that perfectly. Because we actually did get into quite a bit of rain. So this is from Joy Walker. It's a XXL, and it's the biggest one they make, I think. But this easily covers this pack, and it would probably cover a pack even slightly larger than this. Now the top access, it's absolutely huge. Just like with the 4000, got a sleeping bag in here just to give it a little extra form. Show you guys what it looks like. Now it does have this extra pad right here, so you can either put in your sleeping bag roll, or if you got a tent or something, you can actually put it here and then cinch these down really tight, and that doesn't get in the way, and the flap actually will lock down on top of that. Now there are two additional pockets here. There's one on the inside of the cover, so you got a couple garbage bags in there, and on the back of the cover as well. Now these are independent of each other, so what you have in one is not accessible in the other, and they're not huge, but it's enough to get a little bit of gear in. And all of the zippers have these really nice big zipper pulls. Really nice feature. I really like those. So even if you have gloves on, you can get your finger around these to open them up. And that's really on every zipper across the pack. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed that video comparing the Teton 4000 versus the Teton 5500. Both really great packs depending on what you need. If you enjoyed that video, hope you'll consider subscribing, checking out some of my other videos, and we'll catch up with you again soon.